Welcome to A Taste of AZ podcast, where we interview everyone from James Beard award-winning chefs to local mixologists, winemakers, breweries, and so much more. We've got an awesome episode lined up for you today. But before we get into that, head to atasteofaz.com so you can subscribe to our quarterly magazine and email newsletter to find all of the best places to eat and drink around town. Don't forget to follow us on social media. Now let's get into the episode.
So what you guys are doing with Driscoll is like you're creating this experience for people.
A personalized experience.
Yeah. What do you mean by that? Like personalized?
So everything that we do is custom.
Okay.
From the initial conversation that we have with a potential client. When I have those conversations, we talk about the type of cuisine. We talk about dietary restrictions, obviously, and allergies and things like that.
Yeah.
When I have all that information, I circle back around to the chef that would potentially be hosting the dinner or doing the dinner. And we go into the think tank and we start talking about whether it's, cuisine from Northern Italy or if it's Mediterranean or if it's Asian fusion. And then we basically write the menu from scratch.
Okay.
We don't have pre-existing menus. We have kind of sample menus to the type of food that we do. When people ask, what our specialty is, I always answer that with cuisine from around the world. There's not, I don't think any area in the world that our chefs aren't familiar with and or wouldn't be able to familiarize themselves with. We had one of our first dinners, I'll never forget it. A husband and wife went to Northern Italy. They had a private chef experience and came back, had really awesome memories of that experience and wanted to recreate it. And so the two chefs that I had working that dinner were able to go into Northern Italy, see what was trending 100 years ago up to what's trending now, and they created a menu. The experience itself, Maria had said, was just as good, if not better, than the experience they had in Northern Italy.
Wow, that's awesome.
So there was a lot of really important aspects of that dinner that we took and moved forward with our other dinners. We want it to be as authentic, as important, and we want it to be an experience that's going to be remembered for years to come.
For sure.
I think that's what it really boils down to. So it's very personalized. We don't do repeat menus, if you will.
Okay.
So in this 5.5 years that we've been in business, every menu that we've done has strictly been curated for that client.
Yeah.
So I think that's a pretty amazing thing.
For sure.
Yeah, as Brian was saying, the details are important. So in addition to what people want to experience from a culinary perspective, we also ask a lot of questions about what is it that they're celebrating, right? So that we can surface exactly what Brian described in that Northern Italy example, right? People who travel around the world and, want to bring that experience back home. People who are celebrating a special occasion. We get so many birthdays, as you might imagine. We get people who are celebrating, their 40th, their 50th, their 60th. We just recently did an 80th birthday.
Nice.
Right?
Yeah.
And we've done a 90th birthday. And so we bring a lot of sense and sensibility around the person of honor, if you will, who is the center of attention, and really also try to incorporate that into the experience.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. God, I don't know what else I got. The other thing that we do is we don't want our clients to really have to lift a finger. So we provide everything from really nice, plateware to glassware to all the flatware, the linens, custom stock card menus that have a brief description of everything that's going to be enjoyed.
Yeah.
And then, the team shows up a little early. We, towards the end of the dinners, if we're in somebody else's home, we make sure that the kitchen is dialed to the nines. So it's just super seamless for the client to have a wonderful culinary experience, and not have to worry about any of the work that, that goes with it.
Yeah. So there's a lot of what portion of it is like going into somebody else's home aside from the concept?
Well, that was our primary business was basically traveling to other people's homes and creating a wonderful culinary experience in their homes.
Yeah.
I think the private chef world for a long time didn't have great visibility. And so a lot of people thought that, hiring a private chef was, just for the rich and the famous.
Sure.
And ultimately it's for everybody. We ourselves are, competitively priced, where if you go out to a place like Dominic's or, a high-end restaurant in Scottsdale, we're probably at that per person price point. But I always joke with my clients and I say all the things that you kind of take for granted when you go out to a restaurant, from taking a shower, getting ready, packing up the kids if you got them, dealing with traffic on the way to the venue, finding parking, going into the venue in hopes that you're going to be well received with great hospitality at the front door.
Yep.
And then, having that further extend to, having a wonderful server that's going to take you on a culinary, journey as opposed to an order taker. Noisy neighbors, you never know if you're going to be sitting next to a table that, is going to be
getting crazy
over the top, where you're trying to, indulge in great conversation with family and friends. So all those things that you don't really think about, because we never really had to think about it, are all the things you don't have to think about in the in-home dining experience.
Sure.
I often joke with my clients, if you want to dine in your pajamas, more power to you.
Yeah.
You're in your own home, it should be all about maximum comfort. The other thing I really, emphasize is, when you're in a restaurant, whether it be the ambient level of noise in the restaurant, if you have a noisy neighbor, when you're at home and you're having a private dining experience, you don't have any of those distractions. So you're really able to dive, deep into great conversation and just the ability to, share a wonderful culinary experience with, with friends and loved ones.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we really expanded this notion, as Brian alluded to, when we were trying to operate during the pandemic. We started our business in late 2019, and then 3 months later, the world changed.
Like the catering business, like
the personal chef business. We were shut down just like everybody else, and we had to go into think tank ourselves. And so I live in the Portland area, and I came down to Phoenix after the pandemic took hold, and I remember having this conversation with Brian. Said, oh my goodness, everything is shut down. What are we going to do? We just literally started this business.
Yeah.
And we saw it hockey stick because we were like, okay, we are on to something. Well, we both just kind of looked at each other and we said, your home is your new favorite restaurant. Yeah.
And so we marketed our company in that spirit. And I think a lot of people went, okay, let's take a chance on what this is all about. And we were so well received. I think a lot of people just didn't realize, that they could have this kind of curated experience, in the comfort of their own home.
Yeah.
And it not be, any more expensive than having to, drive out to a Dominic's or, a nice restaurant, wherever that may be.
Right.
When it's everything in between that you talked about too, when you have a restaurant from A to Z, all those things that could happen between you don't have to worry about that, right? You do that at home. Like you got your own music on,
You're saving gas money.
Yeah.
Right. You don't have to worry about drinking and driving when you're home.
Yep. Yeah. That's another huge thing.
Yeah.
We live, Arizona, obviously we know there's, zero tolerance out here. So if you want to, get down and have some great wine and have some great cocktails, why not do it at home?
Yeah, for sure. So I had some friends come into town, couple weeks ago, and they rented a house like down in Scottsdale, and then it was like they wanted to go dinner somewhere Friday night, and in hindsight I'm like, shit, I should have brought in a private chef, brought in you guys, or I know Adam Allison really well, because we ended up going to a place. It was good, but it was, they rented this really cool Airbnb. And I was like, we could have just did all of that there,
Yeah.
enjoyed ourselves, did our thing. And, I'm wrapping my brain around a little bit more of, because like you said, it was always this assumption of like for the rich and famous type, but it's very approachable.
And one of the other things, to talk a little bit about the concept in comparison to what we do as a private chef, when we go to your home, what I had noticed in the Airbnb world was that a lot of the homes that potential clients would come in from out of state, and they would rent these high-end properties that would have these elaborate backyards and really beautiful vistas and everything. It all fell down in the kitchen. So we would show up and, oh my God, this is such a gorgeous property. And we'd go into the kitchen, and as an Airbnb, you have very pedestrian plateware, sometimes, snap together martini glasses and plastic wine glasses. And I said, if people are going to spend this kind of money to stay in a beautiful home like this, they should have access to real plates and real glassware and nice, flatware and have it feel more like home as opposed to something that's a little less.
Sure.
So the concept was really kind of designed around people not only being able to come to a beautiful property and have all those details, but a hosted experience. It's funny because when we started doing started thinking about the hosted experience and kind of bringing the old bed and breakfast kind of back to life, we started seeing commercials about, I think it was VRBO that started doing the creepy host commercials.
Okay. Yeah.
and I said to somebody must be catching on to what we're trying to do here, because now there's this big emphasis between Airbnb and VRBO, and how you Airbnb can be, kind of creepy host. I had one lady ask me if she came and stayed here, if I was going to be sitting on the couch in my boxers watching ESPN, and I said no.
Do you want me to?
I joked with her and I said I don't wear boxers. So no, what we're trying to do here is an enhanced experience. So basically, when people come here, they have I get up every morning at about 6 a.m. I do a complimentary breakfast for everybody that stays, whether that be a really, beautiful frittata or a breakfast board, that has a variety of, fruits and pastries and things like that. But that is something that we kind of folded into the experience, because when in Monique and I's travels, when we stay, it's always nice to get up in the morning and have, have access to a complimentary breakfast to get fueled for the day.
Yeah.
So that's something that we decided to put in place, and I think people really, really love that. It gives me a chance to interact early in the morning, kind of see what the itinerary for the day is, and it allows me to be a big part of the experience here, or a very little part of the experience. I'm mostly here to make sure you don't have to worry about doing dishes in the kitchen. If you have to do some laundry, we provide a laundry service. I'm here basically just to make sure that you have everything that you need, you're enjoying the experience, and that's pretty much it.
Right. For those of us who are old enough to remember that TV show Fantasy Island from back in the day. Yeah. So think of Brian as your Mr. Rourke.
Okay.
I guess that's better than tattoo.
Yeah, much better than tattoo.
Yeah. Well, so to clarify, so you have the in-home catering chef service, but the concept, proper noun, the concept here where we're at, this is a place that people can rent.
Yeah,
absolutely. This is the first chef-driven hospitality forward Airbnb in Phoenix.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yes,
yeah.
It is.
And I know it took us kind of a while to get to that point, but I love to hear the story that kind of builds up to it.
Absolutely.
But like in my mind, I know what it is. So I think that's going to blow people's minds. Like, wait, what? So this isn't just a catering company,
right?
Like,
and
no,
to allude, or to tell you a little bit more, about what we do here at the Concept. You can come and stay here at the Concept and have it just be that simple. wonderful place to enjoy, wonderful vistas. We live at the base of Shaw Butte Mountain, right by Thunderbird Mountain. So you get a kind of a 360-degree mountain view wherever you look at the property. But we're also hosting private dinners here at the Concept. So if somebody wants to stay and have a curated private chef experience, I reach out to my team. We have a chef actually come here and do, everything on site and create that experience. We're also doing a variety of mixology. I have a lot of inspiration from different parts of the country, primarily New York and Chicago, where I come back and we try to do our craft cocktails in line with a lot of the menus that we do. So if somebody wants to do a private dinner, once the menu is conceived, we go into the think tank and we try to, create a cohesive cocktail that will pair with the food. Same thing with our wine pairings. We do Wine 101. We talk, we provide education for, small boutique wineries from around the world. We do a lot of wine pairings with our dinners as well. It's something that I'm super passionate about.
Yeah.
So there's a kind of a variety of things that we're able to do here at the Concept when people stay.
Yeah, and the ideal client, if you will, who comes to the Concept is someone who is looking for that enhanced experience.
Yeah.
And let's just talk about, the clients that we had who were just here this weekend, in fact, right? So there was a group who was celebrating Mom's 50th birthday. Now, Mom's 50th birthday was last year, but she wound up with a cancer diagnosis.
Oh, wow.
So this is the kind of, information that we like to have so that we know how to tailor the experience to the client.
Correct.
And so her daughter wanted to do something special for her in her 51st year.
Yeah.
And brought friends and family together to come to the Concept to celebrate. And they did everything that we needed them to do. So not only did they stay here as our guests, they also had the personal chef experience with one of our best chefs who has been a great partner for us. And we also have a wellness partner. And so she specializes in yoga classes, massage, sound baths, that kind of thing. And they did yoga in the backyard and they all got massages. So they did the whole experience.
Yeah,
right?
They experienced the full gamut. And we had such an amazing chemistry between myself and the family. I received a text message after they got home saying, "You are now a part of our family, and we are here to support everything that each and every endeavor moving forward. Between the Concept and our private chef business." So it really made my heart happy to be able to create an experience for a family, but not only create the experience to actually become friends, with this family. I know they're going to come back. Olivia was the daughter of the mother, and she has basically said, "Hey, I'm canceling all the plans that I had for my birthday. I'm coming back to Arizona.
Nice.
I want to stay here. I want to bring friends and more family back to experience it." So I think we are doing something right.
Yeah, absolutely. What a unique thing, right? What a unique, because all right, you go to a resort and you can get that service, you can, do it but it's not that same experience or that feeling as being in a home.
Right.
Right. And the yoga in the backyard, I didn't know you guys did that aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Absolutely.
I think that's great. I mean, that's because it makes it easy for people, right? To be like, here's what's here.
One-stop shop.
Yeah.
You can show up and you can just do a multitude of different things, traditional Airbnb, you go, you stay, you have a nice time. There's so much more to do in this particular experience than just staying at an Airbnb.
Yeah.
A lot of the guests and people that have stayed here have really, really made wonderful comments about it not feeling like they're in the desert landscape.
Sure.
Right.
So,
or not feeling like they're in a short-term vacation rental property.
right.
Yeah. So in fact, when we shot our photos to place on the platforms where we promote the business, Airbnb, booking.com, the photographer who we hired came through the house and he was like, this is not typical of what you find in an Airbnb. Like there's real furniture, there's real artwork, there's, there are real sort of personalized touches that, you don't see. Brian's got, a portrait of his, 2 dogs who have been, incredibly important to him in his life. And that sparks conversation. We have, photos at the bar that are journey.
My trips from around the world.
Exactly. Yeah.
I saw something for like 2 babies over there. Like
right. Yeah. His kids. Oh,
my kids.
The kids' hands and feet. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And matter of fact, that's a big conversation topic because my kids are 6 years apart, and both of those pieces were done when they were 5 years or 5 days old.
Yeah.
So there's a big story behind how I was actually able to track down the lady that did my son's foot and handprints to get her, because she didn't live in Arizona. And on the 4th day of my daughter's being in this world, I found her, and she drove almost 400 miles to get here on day 5 in order to do my daughter's hand and footprints. So I was able, at 6 years apart, I was able to get them both at 5 days old.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people you like the fact that I'm a kind of a softie. I'm mushy all over as a dad.
You're a human, Brian. Like I wouldn't have guessed, but now after seeing that,
well, he's the ultimate host, definitely.
Yes, my kids are the world. The world to me.
Yeah.
So little touches here and there, but I wanted to add enough to the home that it was able to carry conversation. With people that stayed here. A lot of times people ask me, where the other dog is. Lost him a few months back, and it was tough, but. We all know as animal lovers that they're only with us for that amount of time, and so we got to kind of prepare ourselves for that. But my dogs have been amazing companions. Now it's just because it's Dom and I think Dom really enjoys the interaction with a lot of the people that come and stay here, and vice versa. I haven't had really anybody come and stay that hasn't fallen in love with Dom.
Right, exactly. In fact, a couple of friends of mine were celebrating their 40th anniversary, and they came in January to stay. And my girlfriend, I was kind of laying out the process and trying to get everything sorted out with her. And I was talking to her about Dom, and she was like, "We don't really care about Brian. Tell me more about Dom." Because that's what I want to do when I come to your place. I want to hang out with the dog. And sure enough, when she showed up, Dom was her best friend.
And this little girl, Mia, that just left, with the family that stayed here recently, basically came up to me and said, "I don't want to leave. I really love your dog."
That's great.
So it's nice. It's just nice. Dom has, I don't know. I can't say enough about just how relaxed, his whole persona is.
Right.
It creates a feeling, right? Like, there was a quote that I heard recently. It was like, people, they don't remember what you told them or this or that, but they always remember how you made them feel.
Right. That's Maya Angelou.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. That great. It's so true.
It is so true.
And you guys are creating amazing feelings. Like that's incredible.
We want memories that will last for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So how does it start, right? Like somebody goes, and assume people are looking for Airbnbs in the area. Driscoll pops up, the concept pops up, and where does it go from there?
To a phone call.
Okay.
Yeah. Basically, we set up a consultation call that Monique and I are both a part of. We do it as a video call, so we can actually, have our potential, client, we can do a face-to-face. I feel it adds a touch of personalization that it makes people a lot more comfortable knowing that they can see and talk to the owners of the business, and it gives us a chance to actually, to develop that initial conversation in a way where we're building that friendship right out of the gates.
Yeah.
So when they show up, they are already familiar, with myself. They're already familiar with Monique, and I I think it just makes it easier, for people at the end to know who we are.
Sure.
So it starts with the video call, and then it, depending on the level of their stay, if it's a private chef enhanced dinner, then we start working on that aspect. When the guests arrive, it's me basically. When guests arrive, I show up with complimentary champagne. We do a little toast here at the house, and then we start the tour. And then I leave people to kind of just do their own thing. I'm on speed dial. I periodically come in and check on guests, but I have my east side of the house, or the east wing, which is completely separate from the other bedrooms that we rent. So I can, and I have my own private entrance, so I can basically stay invisible if people don't want me to be a part of the experience. Yeah. But ultimately, I think the people that stay here like the idea of a shared experience.
Sometimes I joke about how Brian, what he has done when you go to a typical short-term vacation rental property and they have signs all over the place and they have instructions everywhere, and they have printouts of this, that, or the other. I'm like, Brian basically replaces all that.
All that, exactly.
Okay?
Yeah.
All anybody has to do is just call him and he'll come out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or if he's, hanging around doing things, at the house, making sure everybody has what they need, then, he's off and running.
So for example, everything in the house is for the most part automated, from the soap dispensers to the toilets. You don't really have to touch anything. Okay. So if I wasn't here and somebody were to rent this Airbnb, without having what Monique just described, with signs and directions and all this stuff, you'd probably be a little intimidated.
Okay.
So it makes it easier when I give people the tour, and they know how things work. There's an ongoing joke right now about our toilets because they're fully automated. Bidet feature, heated toilet seats. Yeah. And I think the heated toilet seats is where it all gets, people go home and they put their butts down on their cold toilet seats. Yeah. And the first thing they remember is Driscoll Cuisine Cocktail Concepts. And they remember the concept. Not to say that, it's not an amazing experience, but I have people literally call me and they're like, who makes your toilet?
That's great.
Yeah. Where did you get that toilet?
Literally how you're making people feel.
Right.
Yes.
Literally. Yes.
Let's take a quick break before we wrap this up.
All right.
A real quick reminder, head over to atasteofaz.com and subscribe to our email newsletter. Also, subscribe to A Taste of AZ magazine and get it shipped right to your door. Now let's get back into today's episode.
All right. So as we wrap this up, I'm just blown away by the place. I mean, the place is it's beautiful. And, I can't say enough about it.
Thank you.
And it's a very peaceful place, right? I assume, that's a draw of this place, like the location, the layout, everything. I mean, this is, big guy over there is peeing on I think he's peeing on the furniture.
No, he's not. Don't you even, don't tell that lie.
I think he did.
All right. I'll check.
Oh, dear. Just when we were giving Dom so much
right?
in the way of props.
He doesn't like to be up on a pedestal, he likes to, yeah. But yeah, so, that's what you're going for,
yeah,
right?
To your note, we want people to really come and enjoy the sanctitude of the community. It's a very peaceful, very quiet. It's the kind of place you want to come and just enjoy the quiet, relax. Yeah. I would say, if you're wanting to party it up and go to Old Town and stay up till 4:00 in the morning, we're probably not the place for you. Yeah. But if you're looking for a place where you can really let go and really enjoy, the peacefulness.
Right.
The vistas
it's
are
a place
amazing.
where you can nurture yourself.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. Nurture yourself.
Think of Miraval, Life in Balance, a place where you work in the daily grind, and you're surrounded by the hustle and bustle of the daily world, and you just remember the Calgon commercial, and you just like slip in the bath and
Calgon, take me away.
Calgon, take me away. So it's concept, take me away.
Yeah.
I mean, essentially, we basically want people to come here and just really enjoy the peace and the quiet.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, so I'm 46 now, right? I was telling you, my friends were in town, and a few of them were a little bit nervous, right? Because we would party back in the day, but like, dude, I don't do this anymore. And I'm like, well, me neither, man. Like, I don't even drink anymore, so like, I'm not going to be the wild one. So there was 8 of them, so it was like, is this guy going to be the wild one? And everybody was pretty tame, but 15 years ago, we would have stayed in Old Town, and then you need a vacation from your vacation because you're exhausted from it. This is not that. Like, this is, I think
you nailed it.
You absolutely nailed it. Yeah. And in fact, we're a little bit older than you, but we also have to check ourselves. So you look at like, wait a second, we're 50-ish, right? Like we don't be messing around here because we got to get up in the morning.
50's the new 30.
Yeah. If you treat yourself right?
That's
exactly. That's what you got to do. Got to take care of yourself.
Well, and that's what this feels like to me. Is this is like a place that you would come and you leave re-energized. Like
absolutely.
Your batteries are recharged. Like, you're ready to tackle the world.
That's what we want.
Yeah,
absolutely. That's what we want. And so with that being said, we do offer, we have a room here in the house. So if we have active Peloton riders, we have a variety of free weights and yoga mats and all kinds of stuff in our workout room for people to come and enjoy as well.
Yeah. I like that, right? Because that's, the Airbnb they rented had a ping pong table and all the party type of things. Like, it's encouraging, or this is encouraging like wellness and relaxation. And
absolutely.
I love it.
Yep.
I love it. Now, obviously, you can't do these things alone, right? So you've mentioned a few of the like chefs that you've worked with, not specifically, but you got to have a great team to do this.
To one of my longest, and he actually was a great friend of mine. We worked at a restaurant together back in the day. His name is Stephen Fowler. Everybody knows him by Scuba.
Okay,
Scuba
Steve.
Yeah, Scuba Steve.
Scuba
Exactly.
Steve. Yes, everybody knows Scuba Steve.
He's a busy guy, but he's been with me since the beginning. He's absolutely amazing. 2 of our newest additions, Bryce Gabriel and Brendan Ayers. Brendan actually works for the Phoenix Suns. He was one of their main guys, and so it's a pleasure to work with both of them. They're the amazing talent, just amazing talent, and very awesome guys. Yeah, really a pleasure to work with both of them. We have a couple of female chefs because we want girls in the mix. Mackenzie Davidson, I'm just going to say right now, Mackenzie Davidson, if you're listening, you are the bomb.
Yeah, she's amazing.
This woman commands respect in the kitchen like no other woman I've ever worked with. Yeah. And then we have another really delightful young lady by the name of Sarah Canode. She's been working with us. She's a fairly new addition. So we have a nice variety of really talented chefs working for us and doing it as a side hustle. And then we have some really talented servers and bartenders that work for the company as well that, provide excellent hospitality.
And we also have one of our longtime
Mr. Freddie Rios.
Yes, I was going to say our operations expert.
Yes,
Freddie, who keeps things in line during service for Brian so that he can be the owner.
Well, Freddie came from the Princess Resort. His specialty is sushi, and he's been with us since the very beginning as well. But Freddie has basically turned into like my an extension of me. He allows me to kind of stand back and not be as hands-on as I was in the very, very beginning. As business owners, in order to kind of let go of the ropes a little bit, we always try to find our doppelganger or the person that shares, that vision and is dialed in as tightly as you yourself would be.
For sure.
Freddie's kind of that has become kind of that guy.
Nice.
And, he has bigger plans to become a commercial airline pilot, and he's got a beautiful fiance who, works for the airlines as well. But as a business owner, we would not be nearly as successful as we are without having this wonderful team that has come to work for us.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
I tell everybody, I'm like, I am as much as they are, willing to provide. And I believe as a business owner, take care of your people and they will go to the ends of the earth for you. And so as a business owner, I think Monique shares that same sentiment. We really care about the people that work for this company. And, if they stay with us for 6 months or 6 years, it's really up to that person. But we don't ever want anybody to walk away from the company not feeling that it was a great experience. And that it didn't provide other opportunities, for them, moving down the road.
Yeah.
Right. And Driscoll Cuisine and Cocktail Concepts has been that platform for several of our team members to have propelled their careers beyond just doing side hustles.
Nice. And so I'm glad you said that, because just to kind of embody how this all started was, I always had dreams of being a private chef. And when we opened up this company, it was all going to be about me. But I was laying in bed one night and I said, you know what, I'm going to be 50. I was approaching my 50s.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what, let's create a platform for talented chefs to basically gain visibility through the private chef world, as opposed to working in a brick and mortar and doing the same daily grind. This gives chefs, a chance to be really creative with their skill set, creating menus from scratch, being able to interact with the guests that they're cooking for. Visibility was the biggest thing. And I said, you never know what could happen. You could go to a home and cook for somebody, and, they may call me and say, we loved his food so much. We want him to come back. And maybe there's families out there that are looking to bring on, a private chef, because it's easier for them to live their lives, whether it be a family with kids, a very demanding job. So I think there are a lot of opportunities for private chefs to not just do it on the side, but potentially find a career in it.
Right. Yeah. And given all of the changes that have happened post-pandemic in the restaurant industry, a lot of those opportunities are starting to open up for personal chefs. And we just see that as a way for us to help with nurturing that ecosystem, to give them those opportunities.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one of our chefs, Todd Griffith, worked with us for a few years, and ultimately, vicariously through, doing what he did, met an athlete, and now is, primarily cooking for, that athlete.
Yeah.
And that's what he wants to do. And that's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we can provide those kind of opportunities and get you to a better place in your culinary career, then awesome.
Right. Because most of those people who are looking for a personal chef are not going to be sitting in a restaurant and think to get up and go talk to somebody in the kitchen.
Right.
Sure. Yeah.
Can I talk right back? Exactly. Can I chat with one of your chefs for a second? I want to see if he's interested in.
Yeah.
The guys at the restaurants are like, "What? No, he's our best guy.
Exactly,
You're not talking to him." Yeah.
Precisely.
Not jacking my chef.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the whole ethos behind our company, is that we've always wanted to promote the notion of being creatively conceived, professionally executed, and exclusively tailored.
Ooh.
Right.
Did you just put that all together right now? That was
No,
beautiful.
we've been
You've got the
marketing
mind.
that for like 5 years now.
I love it. You got it on the shirt?
Yes, he's got it on the shirt.
Nice.
It's on the back.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't have to take your shirt
Yeah,
off
you don't
on
have
camera.
to take your shirt off.
Yep. Like the lady in the boxer shorts.
Right.
Yeah. Keep your clothes on, Driscoll.
Yeah.
But no, that's great. I mean, you can tell that your team has. You guys have got it, right? I mean, you've got a great team. You've got, you got your marketing expertise and yeah. So very impressed. Very impressed with you
very
guys.
much.
Well, thank
Yeah.
you very much. It was lovely to chat with you.
Yeah, you too. So what's coming up? Like what's on the horizon? I know you said you had some new things coming up you're working on.
Monique?
Yes, there are a couple of things, right? So certainly it is high season here in Phoenix right now.
Yep.
So, and we are open for business. So if you are thinking about
If you're coming into town for spring training.
Coming in town for spring training. You've got Easter coming up. You've got Mother's Day. You got graduations. This is the time, right? And so we would love to hear from you.
Okay. How do people find you?
You can find us at driscollcuisine.com.
Okay.
That's our main website. And then it has all of the links to everything else from there. So where you can find us on Instagram, where you can find us on YouTube, LinkedIn, we're everywhere. We're trying to be famous. So we're trying to get out there.
Well, keep doing what you're doing. You're going to be famous. Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yes. Now this man has ambitions of being super rich. I think he's totally subscribes to the notion of, get rich or die trying.
Yeah. Right.
But when she says rich, we're not just talking about money. We're talking about quality of life. We're talking about being able to spend time with the people that you love the most and that you keep closest to you.
For sure.
So as much as money at the end of the day is just more of a pain in the butt. More money, more responsibility. So I'm not looking to,
you don't need to be a billionaire.
I don't need to be a billionaire.
Yeah.
If I have the, the right people in my life and I can, travel and see my kids, grow to be amazing, humans, that's rich to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Life is so rich.
It is. Well, and I guess to backtrack it just a little bit, it sounds like what you guys are providing with, specifically with the chefs that you work with, is a better for your mental state, better for your family life balance than, killing yourself in some kitchen.
Absolutely.
1,000%.
That's one of our key talking points when we actually recruit chefs.
Yes. Not when you're sneaking in the back of the
meet me in the alley.
No, they find us. We try not to poach because we are very much supportive of the restaurant industry.
Absolutely.
Don't get us wrong. We were just at a place last night.
Yes. So. I'm glad you said that. What we do is a healthy alternative to going out to restaurants. I don't ever want to be trying to replace the culinary experience. Going out to restaurants is awesome.
For sure.
There's a lot of energy that and it's a different experience,
right? But it's complementary to what we're doing.
Absolutely,
right?
Absolutely.
And the other thing that we're doing is exploring some opportunities to connect with the broader cocktail culture.
Okay,
and so
nice.
We've got connections to some top bartenders in New York City. And we are aligning with some folks here locally to try to pull a New York to Phoenix opportunity together so that we can showcase, all of the great, trends and, all the excitement that's happening around not just cocktails, but also non-alcoholic beverages and mocktails, et cetera. So stay tuned for that because we're in the process of pulling that plan together.
Yes.
Ooh, that sounds interesting.
Because another point, right? Like, restaurants sit alongside the personal chef experience. Non-alcoholic beverages sit alongside cocktails, right? So in doing our research, in fact, I came across a statistic that something like 2/3 of people who choose non-alcoholic beverages also are drinkers, right?
Sure.
So they're just, they're just looking for alternatives at different points in time, whether they want to be healthier or whether they just want to take a break from drinking or whatever. So it's definitely complementary. There's nothing is mutually exclusive.
Yeah. Well, I love that because I quit drinking almost a year ago. I'm like a week away from a year.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. It wasn't even on purpose. I mean, I kind of built a reputation around being the beer guy.
Yeah.
Like I did almost 400 episodes of a beer podcast. So like anywhere I would go in, people are like, oh, we got this new IPA. Hey, we have this new sour. You got to taste it. And so I was just at a point where I kind of needed a little bit of a break, and one thing led to another where it was like I was sick for about a week, just had the flu or something. And I was like, oh man, it's been like 10 days. I'm going to go for a month. I'm going to see if and after a month, I'm like, man, I feel
great.
Good. Yeah.
You're sleeping better.
Yep. Sleeping better. And I would go into a place and, have a beer at lunch or whatever. And then I'm tired the rest of the day. I mean, a lot of it is my old age, I'm being 46. And I tell people, I'm like, I went pro early and retired because I did my fair share of drinking, but I think what has made it so easy and, there was Robert Downey Jr. was on Oprah several years ago, and she's like, was it hard to quit? He's like, no. It was hard to make the decision to quit.
Right.
He's like, once I made the decision, he's like, it was easy.
Yeah.
And if Robert Downey Jr. says that, right?
Right.
Must
Then
be
you
true.
know, I mean, Iron Man can do it. You can do it.
Yeah. So once I made the decision, I was like, okay, like I'm just going to do this, because it wasn't like, hey, we're going to this party. I need you to drive tonight. Now I'm depriving myself. I'm like, I wish I was drinking tonight,
Yeah.
where I've made the decision I'm not going to drink. So it was like that weight off my shoulders. But the thing was that so many good non-alcoholic versions are available, whether it's cocktails. I mean, there's some great non-alcoholic beers. Finally,
Right.
there's never good non-alcoholic beers, but they've kind of changed the game on that. And like some of the mocktails we have are just, they're just as good as the cocktail, and I'm not trying to take a nap at 2:00 in the afternoon.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
And that's the wave that we're catching.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because it's still early days.
Yeah.
And a lot of the market still needs to be defined.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one of the key considerations is the social aspect of, drinking. That's a huge part of it, right?
For sure.
And
Yeah.
so how do you actually have alternatives that people can still feel like they're socializing with drinkers and not be drinking like the Shirley Temples of the world?
For
right?
sure.
Yeah.
Or sugary
Or
soda.
sugary sodas
or,
and that kind of thing. So that's what
Yeah.
we're leaning into. And we're starting down the path of really exploring how we can bring, the Driscoll notion of how we like to up level the game.
Yeah.
Right. So we believe we've changed the personal chef business and changed the game for it in Phoenix. We have taken the short-term vacation rental business, changed the game for it in Phoenix. So stay tuned.
I love it. Did you say Driscoll Dry?
Yes.
Yeah, I like that. I like
Driscoll
that.
Dry.
Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome. So we can keep tabs on all of this through social media? Are you guys
Yes,
active on-
absolutely. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We're active on Instagram. We're active on Facebook, X. Yeah, we're everywhere.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, guys, thanks for having me in. I really
course.
appreciate it.
Thank you for
well, thank
coming.
you.
Yeah, absolutely. I left you guys a little gift here too. That's our new book that we just published.
Yes,
So,
that's fantastic.
yeah. So you can put it up there with the others.
All about it.
But yeah, thank you guys, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you again soon.
Awesome.
Thank you.